Most of us men don't even have an idea of who it is that we are. We just have an idea of what people want us to be, and we follow that. I couldn't even tell you the amount of times that I've run into guys who are older than me. By the way, I'm 24, but I've run into many guys like in my life that are older than me, like late 20s, early 30s, and they still talking about they don't really know what they want to do with life. And now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with not knowing what it is that you want to do in life. But I do think that there is something wrong with not knowing what you want to do in life. So instead of figuring out what it is that you want to do, you decide to just follow somebody else's path for your life because you have people in your life that you don't want to disappoint. Because one thing that happens in life is we grow up with an idea of who it is that we're supposed to be based off who tells us what we're supposed to be, if that makes sense. For example, maybe you had a teacher growing up that's like, oh, I could really see you being a teacher one day. Or, a religious leader that you grew up with saying they can see you being a pastor, a cleric, whatever. Or your parents telling you that, oh, because I was in the healthcare field, I want you to be in the healthcare field. Or because I was in the law field, I want you to be in the law field. And so now you go through life trying to capitulate and now you go through life trying to be who it is that they told you that you should be instead of being who it is that you want to be. And now I'm not saying that it's wrong to try any of those things, but you really got to sit back and think to yourself, like, am I doing this, what I'm doing right now with my life, am I doing this because it's what I want to do? Or am I doing this because somebody else wants me to do it? And now some people may look at you and say, oh, you're selfish because you want to just do what you want to do. But my retort to that would be like, okay, so what? At the end of the day, when you live out your life, you 80, 90, 100, whatever, you pass away with regrets because you're like, oh, I wish I could have done this with my life. I wish I could have done that with my life. But at the end of the day, like, that was all on you. You can't, a lot of people, and it's really bad with parents too, because a lot of people really live life for their parents. Because, especially me, bro, I got Nigerian parents, so I understand it, bro. Like, when you have African parents, they really expect so much of you. They really put a lot on you at a young age of what their expectations of you are as you get older. And a lot of times you just got to realize that, like, yeah, I understand that. And yes, I respect my parents, but I got to live my life for me. You got to live your life for you. Because what this comes down to is now you're going to suffer an identity crisis. And my personal belief is like, this is where a lot of people get in life to once they get to that point of like, you 30, you 35, almost 40, you looking back at your life and you looking back at everything that you did and you really think that you living a pretty good life, but at the end of the day you realize that you have not done anything it is that you want to do because you were so focused on living your life for somebody else. And what does that come back down to? That comes to identity. That comes to figuring out who you are as a person, what you like and what you don't like, the things that you want to do, the things that you don't want to do. But a lot of that comes with trying. When you were a kid, everybody told you what success was supposed to look like. Go to school, graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, go to work for get a good job, get a high paying job, all this stuff. And I'm not saying that any of that is wrong before people come up here talking about, oh, here's another guru telling me to quit my job. I'm not telling you to quit your job and become a bum. But what I'm saying is, like, everything it is that you're doing in your life right now, are you doing that because it's what you want to do and you think that you're going to get something from it? Or are you doing this because somebody else told you this was the good way to live your life, and because somebody else told you this is how you're supposed to live your life, that's why you're living your life that way? Because again, like I said, when you get to the end of your life and you realize that all you were doing was living the type of life that somebody else told you to live instead of the life that you felt yourself that you were supposed to live, you are going to feel that. And this is what causes people to have midlife crises. I think that's how you say it, crises, midlife crises. When, you know, you went to school, you got a degree, now you in some job that you really don't like, but it's comfortable. It pays the bill. It pays your bills, and it gets you, you know, it gets you a roof over your head and everything. So you stick with it, but you never actually try anything because there's too much risk involved with that. Now you end up, and now you start checking boxes. Now you got the job, you got the degree, and you got the job. Now the next thing is you got to find a wife. But sometimes people don't even really know what you want in a relationship. Some guys, like, I know you probably ain't even have that many relationships in your life. So what you do is, like, you meet one girl, you like her, you settle with her, you end up marrying a woman you probably shouldn't have married anyway. Now you're not happy. Now you're looking back at your life like, dang, why did I do this? But now there's more risk involved, because now you have a wife you got to care about. You probably have kids you got to take care of. You got a mortgage you're responsible for. And the longer it is that you compound all of these things and you just continue to move through the motions of life without actually deciding to do something for yourself, or without actually taking the step of being like, okay, what is it that I want to do? Now you are going to look back at your life with regret. And I think this is where self-loathing comes in. I think this is where identity crisis comes in. And then now all of this is compounded by social media, because now on social media you see a whole bunch of people living a certain type of lifestyle, or you see a whole bunch of people on social media telling you what type of life you should live. Like, even me right now, this video is going to go on YouTube, and I'm another guy telling you what you should do with your life. But I'm telling you that you should live your life for you. Like, you should live your life on your own terms. I'm not saying go be reckless and do something stupid that's going to get you in prison or something like that. But why are you so concerned about what other people think? Because here's another thing. Now, also, with the addition of social media, now you have a whole bunch of people who are telling you how you should live your life, what you should do with your life, or you're seeing the type of lifestyles that they live. And now, because you're seeing the type of lifestyles that they live, now you're like, hey, why doesn't my life look anything like that? But then the flip side to that social media part is the social anxiety part, the judgment part, the how are people going to view me part. And I also think that this is the biggest reason that a lot of people don't take that leap and do exactly what it is that they want to do with their life. And that is because of judgment. You know, in this era of social media, you got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, I don't even know, like, all these social media platforms. And it's a lot of negativity on a lot of these social media platforms too. And all you see is people judging other people for living a life the way that they want to live it, or just posting something that they want to post. And now you want to do something with your life, but you're like, hey, if people see me trying something new, how would they view me? Or, hey, if people see me wanting to better myself, think outside the box, do something that most people aren't thinking, how are they going to view me? Let's say, for example, you don't want to go to college, but everybody in your town is going to college. So now you're like, damn, if I don't go to college, how are people going to feel about me not going to college? Or, like, maybe you want to start creating content and you want to make a TikTok or an Instagram or something, but you start thinking to yourself like, hey, what if people start seeing me posting? Like, they're going to view my content. They're probably going to think my content is corny. They're going to think I'm lame. The only people that think that you're lame for doing something, or the only people that are going to judge you negatively for doing something, are the people who aren't doing nothing with their own lives. And that's why, because people don't like to see other people thinking outside the box. People don't like to see other people wanting to do something different. People want to see people just capitulate, just sit here, don't say nothing different, don't act no different, just stay in your lane, just stay in that box, just do what you're told and shut the F up. But you know that you want more out of life than that, and you know that you want something better. So why do you, like, if somebody else is judging you because they see you doing something and you want to go and do something, if somebody is judging you because they're seeing you trying to do better for your own life, why do you care about what they have to say, bro? If you were to pass away today, they're not going to be at your funeral. And if you were to pass away today, you're the one that's going to be passing away with the regrets. They're going to still go on and live their life. Everybody else is still going to go on and live their life. So why are you so concerned about what somebody else has to say about how you want to live your life and the things that you want to try and the things that you want to do? The thing that sucks the most about all of this is that you end up going through life not living life. You're just performing. Now, what do I mean by performing? What I mean by performing is you're going through life depending on the people that you're around, depending on the rooms that you're in, depending on the situation at hand. You're a different person, but you're not you. Now, don't get me wrong. In some situations do call for you to act a certain way. Like, you have to carry yourself in certain ways in some positions. But what I mean is you never give yourself an opportunity to really be you. And you never give other people an opportunity to actually see who you are. And because you don't give people an opportunity to see who you are, I know you feel that stuff. I know you feel that, like, deep down, you feel suppressed. You feel as if, like, you're not able to be yourself. And if you were actually acting like yourself, if you were actually being yourself, who would want to listen? Or who would mess with you? Or how would people view you? But is that really so important that you would rather go through life just performing for other people? You ever see that meme with the jester dancing in front of the queen like this? Like, that's what y'all are doing. That's what you're doing. You're just performing for the person at hand, for the people when it calls for that. But you're never actually showing them who it is that you are and what it is that you bring to the table with your own actual personality. Not with the personality that people say that you should have. Not being the person that people say that you should be. But just being yourself. And the real crazy part is, with all this consumption in the world, with all this constant noise and all this constant chatter, whether it's your phone, your music, or whatever the case may be, you never even allow your brain a moment of silence for you to think about what it is that you want. Because the real truth is that boredom is where you start to fix your life. If you really just sat down, no phone, no music, no TV, no Netflix, no nothing. If you just sat in a quiet room and just allowed your brain to start speaking to you, you would definitely start to analyze all the different points in your life that you don't like, the things that you do like, and where to go. Your brain would start to roadmap that out for you. But the thing is that we live in a world of such consumption that people don't even allow their brains a moment of silence. You don't allow yourself a moment of rest. Because you don't allow yourself a moment of rest, you go through life and you're like, bro, what's wrong with my life? Like, I don't know what I want. I feel as if I'm going through the motions. I feel as if, like, I'm just doing this. I'm just doing that. I don't even know myself. But it's like, are you even giving your brain a moment of clarity to just sit back and think and just analyze your life and be like, okay, these are the issues that I'm having and this is how we solve that? Because if you did do those things, I guarantee you, if you were to just sit in a room for 10 minutes, just quiet, no phone, no nothing, and just think about your life, so many problems, you would start thinking about your problems, and so many solutions would start to come, because you would start to realize that, hey, your brain is starting to realize, like, hey, I don't have TikTok right now. I don't have Instagram right now. I don't have YouTube. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have Twitter. I don't have dating apps. I don't have none of this shit. All I have right now is this silence. And when I'm sitting in this silence and I just thinking to myself about everything in my life, Now that all the noise is gone, I can focus on this signal. And the signal is telling me what's wrong with my life. The signal is telling me that I don't even know myself. And because I don't know myself, I'm unhappy. And I'm serious. I have conversations like this all the time with people where like they telling me, yeah, I just don't know what I want to do. And I understand it. I completely 100% understand it, because I'm the same way. Like I'm sitting here saying all this. I ain't no guru, bro. I don't have life figured out. But I do know that I don't want to live my life on anybody else's terms. Like, I want to do things the way that I want to do them. And like, if that's wrong, if people view that as selfish, that's okay. It's your life. It's my life. You live your life and I can live mine. As long as I'm not doing anything to harm you in your life, why do you care? But a lot of y'all care too much about what people think about you, care too much about how people view you. And because of that, you never actually live for yourself. You always living for other people. And then you wonder why you're not happy, because you aren't even living for you. You're not going hard for yourself. You really got to sit back in silence one day and just ask yourself, who am I without all of this? When all the validation is gone, when all the expectations are gone, when all people's opinions are gone, who am I? Because at the end of the day, validations, expectations, and opinions are all shit that people give you. But that's not you, though. If you living your life on your terms, without the validation from social media, without the expectations that your parents or some other people placed on you, without the opinions of, oh, well, I think that you should do this because this is how I do it. Like, when you finally kick all of that to the curb and be like, hey, I hear you, but I really don't care. You give yourself an enormous amount of power that nobody can take from you. And that's the best way to put it. If you want to take your power back, you got to take your life back. Because if you're living your life on somebody else's terms, there's no power in that at all. You're powerless. You have surrendered all of yourself to everybody else, because without their opinions, you're nothing in your eyes right now. And trust me, I don't say all of this as like some guy that has everything figured out. I did the same thing, bro. I held my tongue when people would say things, because I'm like, bro, if I get my opinion, like they gonna look at me like, bro, what's wrong with this guy? Or like I said, I'll give you an example. It's a pretty bad example, but I'm not gonna lie. And no disrespect to bro, like he make good music. His music just not for me. But I remember being a youngin', and like all the people around me was listening to J. Cole. And so I was like, shit, let me listen to J. Cole. And like I listened to a couple J. Cole songs. I liked a few songs, but the majority of his discography is just not for me. But everybody around me was listening to J. Cole, so it's like, bro, if I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't really like J. Cole, these dudes gonna look at me like, oh, what's wrong with this guy? You don't like J. Cole? He don't like good music. Like, and it's like, that's a small example, but it can literally be something as small as that can compound into something greater. Now, this is no shots at J. Cole, or if you like J. Cole, like, that's cool. Like, listen to the music that you like to do. I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm not the biggest J. Cole fan, but when I was younger, I always found myself acting as if I like J. Cole because the people around me like J. Cole, and I thought that they would think I was some weirdo if I didn't also express my love for J. Cole. But that's how a lot of y'all people live your lives. It's like, oh, I gotta like this because these people like it, or I gotta dislike this because everybody else dislikes it, or I gotta wear this because everybody else wearing it, or whatever the case may be. And now you just, everything it is that you do in life is so contingent upon other people. You don't even know yourself. You're not even giving yourself the opportunity to know yourself, because every time somebody else comes calling, you have to change who you are to capitulate to them. Why are you doing that? Why not just be you and live the consequences? There's going to be people that don't like you for who you are, but I guarantee you, for every one person that don't like you for who you are, it's probably 10 more people that think and view the world the exact same way that you do, and they like you for exactly who you are. But it's an identity thing. Who do you identify as? Do you identify as a person that's going to live your life on your terms because it's your life? Or are you somebody that's just going to continue to live your life doing whatever it is that other people want you to do, because at the end of the day, you just don't want to offend anybody, and you just want to be in your own little, you just want to be in your box. You just want to be in your box. And whatever people tell you to do, people tell you jump, you go ask how high, because if you don't ask how high, they going to be like, oh, what's wrong with this guy? Nah, when they tell you to jump, you should be like, why? Why should I do that? And then you jump if you want to jump, not because somebody else told you to. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, I feel as if today we live in a world of such freedom and in terms of expression, but we also have some of the most caged in, unexpressive people, or unoriginal people, just people who just want to be like everybody else.